We'll close out our last sort of topic for this. Talk a little bit about delays, and this affects a book that came out this week. Batman 89 Echoes. This is the sixth issue of this. They did two Batman 89 series. It was a six-issue series just called Batman 89. This was the follow up to that. Set in the universe of the Michael Keaton movies, basically pretends that Batman and Batman Returns were the only movies that happened and kind of went forward from there. I haven't loved the stories, but it was nostalgia bait for me to see the Keaton Batman and everything again.
Right? I know, me
This
too.
issue comes out, though. I believe it's 19 months to get six issues across for this comic book. The first run, I believe, also was laden with a lot of delays. You top this on top of the fact that you've got the Batman Jim Lee series that's going right now, Hush 2, with more and more delays. I don't know, Mike, why do you think it is that this is because these are not low profile books? This is Batman books. This to me, this is a major issue in the industry in that you can't give us consistent talent. And then when you do, it's like, hey, might take us 2 years to finish those six
Mm-mm.
issues. When you go back, Mike, and you see Kirby and how much he was able to put out, you see a modern artist like Dan Mora who's able to work on 2 or 3 books a month and get that out. Do you think it's a work ethic thing? Like, why do you think we are having delays and everything taking so long in comics? Do you think it's just a cultural shift? Like, what is your opinion on why this
It
happened now?
it goes back to the rudderless ship when you have the creatives uh, more in charge than the editor. It in Jim Shooter's era when he came on, there were delays in Marvel to where they were putting out fill-in issues and using old stories to and reprints to meet deadlines because the new stuff wasn't ready yet. Jim Shooter ended all of that. He was an on-time guy. You were going to be on time, and your deadline is your deadline. And he was like, "Hey, if I was 15 years old and I could meet a deadline when I was working for Mort Weisinger at 15, you
Yeah.
sure as hell can meet a deadline at Marvel Comics in 1975." And we just don't have that anymore. It's a cater to the creatives, which is great. We love our creatives. We want to give them freedom, but at the same time, you got to meet these deadlines. I mean, you got to have these books out, and it's a scheduling problem. It's got to be something in the org chart, like we're corporate guys, right? You break out the whiteboard in the conference room, and we got distribution here, printer it has to be here, and so your book needs to be here. Less changes in editorial, and so if you don't have it, you don't have it, and you can lose your job. But they're so cautious with the creatives that are at a premium, and they're constantly jumping ship to the indies.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you talk to these, when you look at the interviews from some of these old guys like Carmine Infantino and Jack Kirby, they were working for one company during the day, working at night on another project. They were doing two books simultaneously, sleeping like 4 hours a day. And it was incredible. Carmine did it for about 2 years. He worked for two different companies. Steve Ditko did it all the time. Jack Kirby did it. They were moonlighting and producing this stuff. So it's not like it can't be done. I mean, I know these guys are the legends of all time. And
But
they're
yeah, it's they're the legends, but like it didn't seem to used to happen this much, and that we just this seems to be modern comic sport. And that look, this Batman '89 comic, like it because I had it on my pull list, it came into my. I totally forgot this comic existed. It's across 19 months. Like I picked it up, like, well, oh yeah, that did, and it killed any momentum the book would have. There's another Batman book, Gargoyle of Gotham. I believe that's supposed to be 3 issues. I think the second issue is out, and it was like a year in between issues, and there's been a year between the second and third one. Mark Waid, even with Brian Hitch, there was a Superman: The Last Days of I think Lex Luthor. issue one came out. It was a full almost year and like 3 weeks before the second issue came out.
That's
And you hear different
crazy.
reasons, like Mark Waid and Brian Hitch came out and said, like, hey, that first one probably shouldn't have been released. We told them it was going to be a huge delay. But it doesn't really matter. And one of the things is there's only a couple industries we see major delays. Video games happen, and those are massive studios with hundreds of millions of dollars and thousands of programmers or hundreds of people involved. And so that kind of makes sense. We see movies get delayed, right? Makes sense. Thousands of people working, dozens of actors, probably reshoots, test screenings, all that kind of stuff. This is a 20-page comic book. It's a 20-page comic book
I
that it
know.
took you 19 months to finish 120 pages of a comic book. And again, I'm not saying I could do it, but that is your job. And I think that's the thing that doesn't, like you said, there's too much catering to creatives on some things in that we don't seem to pay them well, and that seems to show. But at the end of the day, if you took a job, the job's the job, and you need to do the job. And this comic book killed it. Let's say that the first couple issues of this were just flying off the shelves and doing amazing. Because of the delay, it doesn't matter what the sales are on this. There is no momentum behind this anymore. I love Batman. I love that universe. I read it. I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm reading because I don't remember those other 5 issues because it started when my kid was 1 and he's almost 4 now. Like, there's life happens, and it's tolerable when it's a movie with millions of dollars, a video game, that kind of stuff. When it's a 20-page comic book, it's like either don't announce it or don't start it or make sure it's done or something. But it's just delays kill comic books now. And I think because it would be better if they had told you, hey, we are releasing this quarterly. There will be one issue every 3 months or something like that. And we've seen
Yeah.
some publishers take that route where they pre-sell stuff and they're like, hey, it's coming out, late quarter 2025 or whatever. But when you have custom, especially for the big two, when 19 issues of Daredevil or Spider-Man or whatever can come out in between this issue coming out, you can't have it. It's going to kill the industry. And it's just like you said, we don't have the editorial that we used to. Like and this is look, I think Jim Lee with Batman with Hush, the way that this is screwing up the relaunch, things like that. It's something where it's like, man, you would think that Jim Lee being in charge of DC Comics, if an artist messed up something like this for him, you would think he'd be like, hey, you're not going to work here anymore. And
Right.
sadly, as much as I don't think we need to beat up on creatives and get on them, at a certain point, it's like, dude, you're killing the sales. You're killing the momentum. Your inability to complete stuff is hurting. And I'm not here to tell anybody, if you've got life circumstances, different things that are happening, that's awful. Like I hope things get better for you. But at the same time, a job is a job. And the same way that you and I go into work, and if a project is due and it was like, hey man, sorry, can't get to it. I'll let you know in 19 months. We're not going to be on the next project and we're probably not going to be there the next day.
Yeah.
Comics seems to be this weird backward place right now where 20 pages a month and it's like, nah, just can't do it. It's interesting. But let us know. What do you guys think down below? Have delays really impacted your enjoyability of comic books like me? Were you reading this and completely forgot it existed? And I'll say this, it certainly wasn't worth the wait, and it seemed to be a very rushed product as well. But let us know what you guys think down below. As always, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you think on any of the topics we talked about. We'll kind of splice these as well and cut it into individual videos as well, so you guys may see different portions of this that you can watch if watching a little smaller portion works better for you. Let us know your thoughts as always. God bless you, folks. Happy Independence Day. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.